Good afternoon and welcome to the 2026 IPF World Powerlifting Championships here in Druskininkai, Lithuania. I am Amelia Potter, joined in the booth today by Ryan Lapadat. And Ryan, we have quite the set of flights coming up for you today. The 69 kilo ladies, followed on by the 105 kilo men, and we have some heavy hitters in both sessions. You can see here a big opener of the world record holder herself, Carola Gara, and she's going to be trying to defend that title with some big names behind her, namely Megan Scanlon, who's moved up from the 63 kilo class, Chandler Babb, who podiumed bronze overall last year from the C group, Marie-Jose Van Dau, European champion, amongst all other names in there, all contenders for some big lifts today.
Yeah, Carola Gara, all-time great, multiple-time world champion, 2 different weight classes, but Chandler Babb herself, 2-time 69-kilo world champion, and we can't forget about USA's Janae Kovacs. If she's 100%, definitely a title threat, at the very least a podium threat, and the aforementioned Megan Scanlon, also a multiple-time world champion. Looking at this roster of 69s, it's like looking down the Hall of Fame. Very stacked, and then of course you got Annie Nelson, Mark Jenner, European greats and champions.
And of course Jordan Bright from Ireland as well, and that's a heavy hitting top 8. Mark Jenner, Norway, kicking us off with 180 kilos, upped her opener from 175, so feeling strong in warm-ups.
Mart, long-time contender, been at several world championships.
And it was a strong start to the day for Jenna, 3 white lights. Of course, in the B group earlier, we had Anderina Bouchou from France, who totaled 555 kilos.
Yeah, Bouchou, former world champion in the juniors, now in the open, made a statement earlier today with 555.
Annie Nelson from Great Britain, opening on 185 kilos.
Another long-time contender. Nice smooth opener.
Yeah, and she seems pretty pleased with that as well. 3 white lights, a good lift. Annie's previously snatched some squat medals herself. Reigning European champion, the Netherlands' Marie-Jose Van Dau, opening with 185 kilos. Personal best of 195. And not so far behind that with her opening attempt, moving very well. Out now, and as you mentioned before, Ryan, certainly not a name to look over. Janae Kovacs from the United States, 187.5 kilos. You've previously seen her squat 207.5.
And that was back at American Nationals, and let me tell you, you could boil an egg how long she was under that bar fighting for that 207.5. She's got heart. However, at American Nationals, she opened with 192.5. We're 5 kilos down from there, but might be some energy conservation. Don't want to read too far into it. Let's see how this moves.
Yeah, and you've got to think that extra bit of travel is a new component she's having to battle with.
Step, no question, easy peasy. If that was a rangefinder, she's got plenty of room.
Yeah, and just trying to suss out the international standards on that opening attempt, and does a great job of meeting them. Now next we have Chandler Babb for US Virgin Islands. Huge contender here. As I said, managed to podium last year's Worlds from the C group. 190 kilos for her opening attempt.
Yeah, you cannot look past Chandler. 2021 69 kilo world champion, 2022 69 kilo world champion, podiuming while in the B group. Try that when everybody sees your numbers. That's quite the high mark to rest. She's a threat.
Ooh, and it's a little tough, but I think the bar just rolled forward a little bit there, knocked her out of position.
Also, to an extent, it is kind of how she squats. I agree 100%. The bar rolled forward, but her squats sort of she does fold like that. It's also how she deadlifts. She'll be all right.
Now, as her debut as a 69 kilo lifter on the international platform, Megan Scanlon, 195 kilos on the bar.
Coming into this, if you follow her online in prep, she did have an injury, but I think that injury is long behind her. Opening at 195, as you peruse her open powerlifting, she's never opened this heavy before, so you got to think they're confident.
And we've seen her squat as heavy as 210 kilos before. And it's a confident looking opener.
Last time we seen her as a 69 kilo lifter, she opened with 190.
Let's see what she can add onto that today in that battle for podium. A roar from the crowd for Ireland's Jordan Bright, opening with 205 kilos, an extremely impressive squat. Got squat gold at the Europeans with 215, and in training hit as high as 220 kilos.
Yeah, just for a little bit of context, the world record, 226. Depending how her day goes, it's not inconceivable she could take a swing at that, and that, of course, is Carola Gara's squat world record.
Wow, that is nice.
She has really mastered the squat, all of her levers perfectly in place to get the most in this event.
And followed out only by the record holder herself. You've got to think she can make a decent sized jump after that. And speaking of which, the world record holder, Carola Gara, 215 kilos, dropped it from 217.5. I had a quick look in the warm-up room. Her last warm-up was 205 kilos, I believe. So let's see how this moves. Perhaps sensible for Team Italy to drop it ever so slightly.
I think it's a good idea. When she posted up 588.5, she opened with 215, and that, of course, was her biggest total she's ever registered.
And it's a good lift, 3 white lights. You know that she is well capable of a big grind in that squat, and pacing herself, like you said, for a big total. And with that concludes the opening round of squats. All 8 lifters on the board. Gara, of course, leading ahead of Bright and Bouchou, still from the B group. Mark Jenner taking a 10 kilo jump to 190 for her second attempt. We've seen her squat as heavy as 200 kilos. Still moving extremely quickly.
Yeah, I agree. Handled that 10 kilos with ease.
Unless her opening attempts change, she doesn't look like she's in the fight for the podium currently. Long day ahead.
It's just such a stacked division.
Yeah, it's incredibly stacked. Marie Jose Van Dau taking a 10 kilo jump to 195 kilos. Van Dau doesn't cut for this weight class, came in at a 66.05 kilo body weight.
Ooh, things got a little tricky at the bottom there.
Yeah, it seems like her hips just shot back out of the hole. Did very well to still continue that squat on.
For sure. It looked like she almost got folded up, but she was able to fight through right here. Boom, the chest falls forward, and she is able to gut her way through that squat. Hats off to her, especially on the second round, not even opening weight.
Yeah, you've got to think that's a conversation now of where to take that third.
Yeah, if it's just a loss of tension and everything's fine, or if that was weight.
Chandler Babb now taking a 7.5 kilo jump to 197.5, just 2.5 kilos shy of her personal best.
So Babb, this is the heaviest. 190 is the heaviest she's ever opened up. 197.5 isn't far off of the 195 she's hit at last year's Worlds and the last Nationals at USVI. But it is the heaviest second attempt she's ever done.
Yeah, I was a little worried after the first, again with the bar rolling forward, and as to, like you said, Ryan, it is similar to her squat style, but something just seems a little bit off today, and has another shot of that on her third. $197.5 kilos for Great Britain's Annie Nelson. 12.5 kilo jump.
It's a healthy jump, but a common jump she likes to make in the squat event. Around 10 to 12.5 kilos.
And it's a very respectable looking second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Right on the money.
Plenty left in the tank for that third. $197.5 kilos for Janae Kovacs from the United States, a 10 kilo jump. And just 10 kilos off that 207 that you said she hit at Nationals was quite the grind.
And if she's trying to conserve a little energy, this is a good play. It is less than the second attempt at Open Nationals back in the US. But again, if she thinks she's got to fight for her third, maintain that energy. Let's see how 197.5 goes. Smooth enough, and this is where, look at, opposite situation. Babb opened heavier than she ever did and struggling in the second attempt. Janae pulling it back a little bit, adjusting to the day. Plenty of energy, plenty of room to grow.
And we move on now to Megan Scanlon, taking that 10 kilo jump to 205. Getting very close to the heaviest squat we've seen her complete. Walked in at 68.1 kilos today.
Last time we saw her as a 69, she totaled 580. 202.5 was her second attempt in the squats. We're still ahead of that. That was smooth.
And 2 to 1, a good lift. There's a depth call from the center referee, but seems like she's so far found her stride back in the 69s.
Very few women have podiumed in 3 different weight classes. Megan is attempting to do so. Did it as a 57, won as a 63, and here she is in the 69 kilo class.
Jordan Bright from Ireland taking a 12.5 kilo jump to 217.5. Just a stone's throw away from that world record. Should this move well, this is already 2.5 kilos above her best, what she managed to squat at the European Championships in March.
Let's see how this moves, and let's have the conversation if she's got another 9 kilos in the tank.
Wow. And what do you make of that, Ryan?
It's so tough to call. She's such a proficient squatter. She's so economical with how much effort she puts in. Take a look at this squat.
Yeah, it's a pretty looking squat. And
9 kilos, I mean, she might, I don't know. It depends if she's touched this enough in training.
Well, the face she made to her coach coming off the platform, I think, was loaded up, and I hope that is the case as we move to our final second attempt. Carola Gara taking a bit more of a conservative 7.5 kilo jump here to 222.5.
This is the exact pacing when she did her all-time best total, 215 to 222.5. Here we go again, but does it move the same? Yeah, that's there and abouts where Carola
and 2-1, a good lift. Just a depth call from the center referee. Jury seem happy with it as we move through to that third and final round. Gara leading the pack with 222.5. Bright follows with 217.5, and Scanlon now in bronze with 205 for the squat.
Last time the World Championships were in Druskininkai, Lithuania. It was Carola Gara who emerged as the world champion, returning home.
Chandler Babb looking to retake that 197.5. Bar just seemed to roll up her neck on that second and fold her a little bit. Let's see if she can maintain that position a little better here in her third.
So she's previously hit 200 kilos. This is within her means. She can keep herself upright. Nope, that's a little too aggressively falling forward. Slightly dejected Chandler Babb leaves the platform. She does have a big deadlift and is still a threat, walking away with 190 kilos.
Mark Jenner from Norway, 197.5 kilos. Two and a half kilos shy of her personal best. Seems confident.
Yeah, she's stuck with that. 3 white lights.
Jose Van Douw, 197.5 kilos, opting for a conservative 2.5 kilo jump here after hitting the hole pretty hard in her second and getting thrown out position a little bit.
The reigning European champion going up 2.5 kilos from a very tough fight. Whoa, a lot cleaner this time around.
Yeah, I still think probably the right call, but a very good final attempt. She lets out a shriek.
The way the second attempt moved, you really didn't want to risk it.
No, especially when she sinks her squats so deep, you know, those extra couple kilos can really make a difference. Janae Kovacs, USA, 202.5 kilos, a 5 kilo jump here.
So this equals her second attempt at US Nationals. But Janae's got a big deadlift, big bench.
final attempt from Kovacs.
You
and
know
3
what?
white light.
2020 hindsight, probably had another 2.5 kilos in her.
Now in such a stacked weight class, is that going to come back to bite them?
The problem is, so I understand if she's not feeling 100%, but I know she could fight. If you saw that 207.5 at U.S. Nationals, she had a lot more in the tank. However, again, 2020 hindsight, easy to say after the fact.
Annie Nelson, Great Britain, with a big fan club here today. 205 kilos for our final attempt.
Annie Nelson looking to equal her PR. Oh, she's strong on the day, Amelia.
Yeah, that is very well chosen final attempt. A good lift, 3 white lights, and these 69 kilo ladies are not messing around. It is such a stacked class. Between 3rd and 8th is separated by 17.5 kilos, and that sounds like a lot, but with 1 or 2 misses, that can move around a lot. Meg Scanlon from the United States, 212.5. This would be a 2.5 kilo personal best for Meg.
Again, pacing wise, when she hit 580, finished squats with 210. If she wants to close the gap on Gara, whose biggest total is 588.5, you got to collect a couple kilos from each event, and looks like she's doing it. And that's even if Gara's on top form, yet to be seen. Oh, but Meg is, look at that.
And Meg certainly is strong today. 3 white lights, a good lift. She runs off with confidence and runs towards the bench where we know she excels.
What a story it would be. Meg, in the 57 kilo class, broke the world record at Worlds. 63 kilo class won the title. And at 69, where might she end up?
Who can say, as we move now to 225 for Jordan Bright, not opting to have a shot at the world record of 226. Looking to pick up those kilos, moves her into squat gold ahead of Gara for the time being. This would be an enormous personal best of 10 kilos on the platform.
Yeah, another 1.5 kilos, the world record, but 1.5 kilos down is gold at World Championships in the squat event. Tough decision.
And you've got to think it was there, but what a phenomenal squat. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, that's going to be squat gold, but I tell you what, I don't think 1.5 kilos would have stopped her. Look at this proficient squatting technique. So upright.
You got to say though, 10 kilo personal best is not a small one either.
No, you know what? They loaded it up and she handled it well.
And looking to move back into squat gold, and more importantly, to extend her own squat world record. Carola Gara, 227 kilos. Going a whole kilo over, perhaps thought Bright would take that extra chip.
Yeah, interesting. Next increment's going to be 0.5. Oh, wow. That move may be better than her second.
And it is a good lift and a new world record. Still holds on to that depth call from the center referee, but both sides good. Happy with it, yeah.
And I tell you what, Carola Gara on form, Megan Scanlon better than we've ever seen her. This is a battle of all-time greats.
And we have a look at that. Scanlon walking away with squat bronze with 212.5. Jordan Bright, a rising star there. World record could be hers one day. 225 with squat silver, and of course with a new world record and squat gold, Carola Gara, 227.
We're going to move into the men's 105. It is a stacked division. And Ponza, 282.5, and blink and you'll miss it.
3 white lights, a good lift. Nice conservative opener, 42.5 kilos below his best, so looking to pace himself well, secure that squat opener.
Easy makes it look easy and is on the board. 290 for Diego Salgado of Mexico.
Looks good. Ooh, but unfortunately, a depth move in the center and side referee.
Yeah, that angle was the angle the ref that gave the white. Now we get another side view of it.
Weight certainly not an issue. Let's have a look at that.
That's right on the line. The jury might save him.
Yeah, and I could argue the case either way there, but looks like the jury are happy to keep it as a no lift for Salgado.
Eliam Chandu. .300 kilos even for the Frenchman.
Eliam looking really strong coming into this competition. Personal best of 333 kilos.
Three white lights.
And he seems pretty happy with that opening attempt.
Britain's Nathaniel Messiah, junior world star, world champion, now campaigning in the open. .300 kilos even.
Snappy looking opener for Nathaniel. We've seen him hit as heavy as 327.5.
And Nathaniel in the juniors would hit his final deadlift and despite his size also hit a backflip. He might park that for today. Regan Stragakis, Denmark's most accomplished lifter, also a junior star, won that title a couple times, won best lifter as a junior, campaigning in the open, took a bronze at the European Championships.
And he is a certain podium threat for today with some big and recognizable names.
315 kilos. He finished off platform last year in the open, but he's a threat. Easy work.
And don't let the shaking fool you, it's just how he squats. It is a very strong opening attempt with one depth call from the far side referee, and that's the angle we'll get here in the replay. So let's have a look at that. Hard to say with the spotter's hand there, but it looked decent enough to me.
Yeah, I don't imagine that's going to get overturned by the jury. Emil Norling, former world champion, former European champion. Sheffield appearances as well. Legend in the game, 320 kilos. He squatted as heavy as 350 kilos, but that's when he was campaigning at Sheffield at a body weight of 110.7. He's come down now back to the 105s. That moves smooth and easy though.
And it is a good lift, 3 white lights, and he's had a back and forth with Anatoly for quite some years now.
Yeah, and despite the fact that as a 110, he hit his PR squat of 350, He did open up at 320 that day as well. I'm not saying we're going to end at 350, but let's put a pin in that conversation and revisit it in a couple rounds. 340 up next for defending world champion Anthony McNaughton.
With a best squat of 367.5. Anthony, an extremely accomplished lifter already.
Anthony, a dominant force of last year's Worlds, but at the Sheffield event earlier this year, a surprise loss to Keenan Lee, and he'd like to take the sour taste out of his mouth by returning to dominance, and that's a bright early showing, 3 white lights.
Yeah, he stood out a lot in Germany last year, winning, but in such a style that really none of the weights seemed to slow him down whatsoever. It made it look very comfortable as a win.
You would have thought he was unbeatable, and then Sheffield happened. He's got an opportunity here to remind everybody he is still the king of the 105s. But speaking of king of the 105s, Anatoly Novopitsmani, he himself claimed that crown as well as best lifter. 2 different IPF World Championships, cannot be overlooked, and he could definitely take a swing at that world record squat, 350 kilos for his opener.
Yeah, that world record squat was extended 10 kilos earlier in the B group to 382.5.
Anatoly weighing in less than 100 kilos. Oh gosh, and that's not. He will leave the platform under his own power, but you gotta wonder, not often can you take a knee with 350 kilos on your back.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again here. You can see just seems to lose tension in that left knee. And
yeah. Now, he left under his own strength with no assistance whatsoever, and he's built different, obviously, but I'm not sure we're going to see him back. We'll see shortly. As you look at these squats, you got to keep in mind, a lot of those are from earlier today. Ilya, like you said, from Algeria, 382.5, and that's the high water mark. But Anthony McNaughton, 340 already.
We move into that second round of squats now.
And Ponza, 295.
12.5 kilo jump here from the Canadian lifter.
Easy work. Speed, he's got a lot more in him. Take a look at this squat, still picture perfect, no breakdown. Oh, now look at this, Amelia. Diego Salgado of Mexico, 307.5, missed 290 on depth, opting to go up 17.5 kilos. We've had this conversation before. I get it, 290, technicality, it wasn't heavy, I can go deeper. 307.5 though, that's a lot heavier.
Yeah, it looks like it could be there around his planned second, and it is risky because I've certainly seen people take this route before and not manage to get a lift on the board.
Yeah, we saw someone bomb out at this World Championship. Let's hope that's deeper for sure.
Yeah, he sunk that.
I think he'll be okay. 3 white lights. Breathe a sigh of relief. Fans of Mexico watching online, take a look at this. Definitely hits depth. Understands where the strike zone is. Be sure to go for that on the third attempt. Nathaniel Messiah, 320 kilos for his second attempt. Top end squat for him, 327.5. Biggest second attempt he's ever tried was 315. We're beyond that. Pacing for something in PR territory for thirds. Nathaniel hits depth with ease and so fast on the ascent.
Yeah, and you've got to think he's going to hit a big personal best on that third, because 7.5 kilos above that, you'd imagine it's about the same.
Nathaniel was a star in the juniors, and now that he's in the open, seems to be leveling up. Eliam Chamdo.
Taking a 22.5 kilo jump here.
322.5. He's hit 333 national record back in France.
Stands it up. I'm a little bit worried about the depth.
Same. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I knew you were gonna say before you said it, he's looking a little confused, but if you look at this replay, that's not gonna pass at IPF Worlds. If he's gonna take a third, I suggest he takes that weight again. Going down another inch, it's gonna feel a lot heavier. 325 for Regan Stragakis. Dominant force in the juniors. Still only 23 years old, now in the open. 24, excuse me. He has squatted as heavy as 332.5.
10 kilo jump here from his opener.
Pretty standard jump for Regan. Pretty standard second attempt as well. And to your point about the shaking, he gets so tight and there's so much strength in his torso. He almost reverberates underneath that bar due to the tension and force.
Yeah, but no impact on his strength with that whatsoever.
Oh, there's plenty more there. Emil Norling, 340. Again, when he had his biggest total so far, weighing in at 110.7, 340 was his second attempt. Did he bring that strength at the heavier body weight back down to the 105s? Wouldn't that be something? That's a problem for the other 105s if he has.
Oh, and it is tough.
That is definitely tougher.
Manages to complete the lift, and it's a good lift, but you're going to wonder how much is left in there.
I don't, the expression he's given, I don't fault him. Here's the thing, when you're a larger man, you felt those weights, you handled those weights, it's still in your mind's eye, you could do it. Then you get up under the bar and you feel, oh my gosh, I'm 10 kilos smaller. Anatoly back with 350, my goodness. Does he have heart? Is he brave? Not backing down, the crowd appreciating.
So if you're tuning in late, Anatoly on his opening attempt at the bottom of the hole, taking a knee with that 350 on his back.
Absolutely. Try doing a lunge with 350 kilos on your back. This guy is built different. My gosh. It's a little scary.
And it looks strong, but I want to wait for the lights because, I'm a bit worried about the depth.
Well, that's a moral victory, but he cut it high, and he probably cut it high for a reason.
It's understandable that mentally you would come out after that happening on your first and be a little bit more worried about the weight on your back, but it's only ever so slightly that he needs to go down further.
I think that's being a little charitable, but I understand given the circumstances. Look at, when you're at the very bottom in the hole is when you're going to feel the pressure on the knee, and he took a knee with 350 kilos on his back.
Yeah.
But I really hope he could get just a little deeper. Maybe that helped him build the confidence to do so. 360 for the returning defending world champion, Anthony McNaughton. Doesn't look like any question there, and that was a very smooth second attempt. 3 white lights for Anthony.
And just quickly on Anatoly again, you'd hate to see it because he actually was disqualified from last year's Worlds on deadlift for not getting an attempt in. So you'd hate to see it happen on not only another World Championships, but on an event that really, he dominates a lot of the time.
Yeah, this is his event. This is where he breaks world records. When you see a two-time best lifter at World Championships possibly bombing out back-to-back years, almost inconceivable. He is a legend in the game, but no one's going to forget him taking a knee with 350 kilos, coming back and squatting again, and we will see him a third time come around. It's not over yet. 307.5. And Ponza. There we go. A lot more work on that third, but he's good for it.
You did get a depth call, which unfortunately the jury's overruled to a no lift for Ponza.
315 now for Diego. Got a depth call himself in his opening squat at 290. Moved up 17.5 kilos regardless. And the guts paid off. Nailed it. Now we're up 7.5 kilos from there.
We've seen him squat as much as 327.5, so taking a somewhat more conservative route, which I think is sensible.
And that would be why. Whoa! Yeah. These fellas today have heart the size of all of Lithuania. Look at that. Talk about the perfect weight they selected on the bar. Mexico knew, throw out anything you had previously done. Tell me how you feel today, and got everything they could out of their lifter. 322.5, one more time. Aliam Chamdou of France missed this on his second. It was due to depth.
Yeah, strength wasn't an issue really, but does need to sink it. I'm glad they retook the same weight because it moves a whole lot different when you squat those extra couple inches.
I was gonna say, strength wasn't an issue at that height. Take it a little deeper, it might be, but at least he knows he's got another opportunity. Good. Yep, and it's a whole lot harder, but looks clean.
And it is. 3 white lights, a good lift, and that's exactly why retaking that weight can be so sensible.
And that's why when you miss on depth and go up regardless, you might be tempting fate. France doing the right call by retaking the same weight. And again, gets the most out of their lifter. 330 kilos now for Nathaniel Messiah. I ran into Nathaniel last night, late last night, was around midnight. Don't tell Matt Gary. He was walking around the lake, gathering his thoughts like Rocky the night before the big fight. He's got a PR squat loaded on his back. He's ready to scrap it out if he has to, Amelia. Oh, and he does. Look at that.
That is incredible. That's exactly what he does. When he needed it the most, he hits that PR, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Look at his body shake as he revs that engine. Watch his chest and head shaking. He's not nodding. That engine is revving. Look at that torso. CNS firing. Regan Svrgakis, 332.5. This will equal his previous PR.
And really essential for Svrgakis to be making these lifts, because if Messiah is on for a good day with a big pull and Svrgakis does not have a good day, he could certainly creep up and try and sneak in there.
Regan and Nathaniel, old rivals back in the juniors.
Yeah, currently Regan with the win ahead of Messiah. Let's see what happens today.
Junior rivals bringing that into the open. Oh, Regan's on point. You know what? I'm not mad at that call. Oh,
Oh, 2-1, a no lift for depth. We'll have a look at that again, the replays. The jury will as well. But like I said, it will hurt him if he starts making lifts and Messiah starts missing lifts and Messiah starts hitting them.
it was right on the line. I was about to say I'm not mad at the call for that weight, but I thought he might have another 2.5 kilos in him. The strength is there. Unfortunately, might have cut it a little high.
And jury happy with that, remaining a no lift for
That's
Stigakis.
unfortunate. Yeah. It was right on the line, and he moved it so well. You got to think he could have took it a stitch deeper. Unfortunate, but people will miss lifts along the way. 345 for Emil Norling.
And I think, yeah, 5 is the absolute maximum I would have put on after that second attempt. But he's got a big push him if he needs it. 340 was tough. No. Yeah, 340 really was that top end today, and it took it out of him. Better to fail quickly on that third attempt than waste any more energy moving forward in the fight for overall placing, particularly in the position that Anatoly is in now.
And speaking of Anatoly, the living legend, 350 kilos, and this crowd is behind him, does not want him to bomb out. And how do you talk about this man's heart? You can never question it. He just needs to search for that depth. Oh my gosh, that looks like it is. Whoa! Can you believe it? 2-1, it's good, and that looked much, much better than his second.
And Ryan, can you believe that storyline on his opener?
I mean,
gets put to his knees. The second, a little shaken by that, squats are high, and on the third, with a champion mindset, comes back and gets it.
You will not keep a man like this down on one knee. Bows before no one. 367.5 for Anthony McNaughton.
Already, the 365 has the squat silver, the world record hit by Ilyas Bantala earlier, keeping the squat gold and the world record.
This will equal Anthony's all-time best squat.
And with ease at that.
Yeah, he didn't hit it that easy last time.
This is what I was saying about what was amazing to see from McNaughton last year in Germany, is that he continued to make lifts and made it look quite effortless like that. It's what's quite impressive about him as a lifter.
And Anthony McNaughton on pace in the squat event. Ilya earlier with the world record 382.5, taking the gold overall. Anthony McNaughton 367.5 in the silver. And what a dramatic bronze medal finish for Anatoly, capturing the hearts of everyone online and in-house watching. I can't wait to see how this battle unfolds. We're going to take a short 10-minute break, and we will be back with the bench press.
And welcome back to the 2026 IPF World Powerlifting Championships here in Druskininkai, Lithuania. We head back into the bench press now for the 69 kilo and 105 kilo weight classes. And talking about bench press, some controversy earlier in the week with some of the female lifters, and there are some names here that I'm a little bit worried about, and I'm wondering how they're going to progress in this, Ryan, namely Gara and Scanlon, in the way that they usually bench with a bit more of a sink and a thrust. So what are your thoughts there?
Well, Gara, 137.5, that's actually a pretty big opener for her. Interesting, she doesn't seem to be taking a lighter opener to adjust. Megan Scanlon, on the other hand, opening with 130, and last time she was a 69, she opened at 135. Looks like Team USA lowering the opener to adjust. I like Team USA and their pathway to it for all the reasons you just said. Concern for Gara, but time will tell.
And kicking us off, Chandler Babb from US Virgin Islands, opening on 115 kilos. Dropped that from 117.5, so perhaps after just getting one squat in, looking to save some kilos here.
Bab's got a big deadlift, and this bench roll should not affect her. Last year's World Championship, when she took bronze from the B flight, opened with 117.5, so yeah, this lowering of the opener, I'm fine with it. Squat didn't go the way she wanted.
Yeah,
I like the adjustments.
Yeah, this still lands her 7.5 off her best, so she's not so far away from it anyway.
Nice, that's exactly it. And this is what you want from your national team coaches. You go in there with a battle plan, things go sideways on you in the previous event, adjust on the day, get your lifter back on track. That's what they're doing, lower the opener. That moves smooth like an opener should.
Jordan Bright from Ireland, after hitting a big final squat of 225, just missing off that world record, opening here with 117.5. Lovely opening attempt.
Well done for Jordan.
To come out of squats only 2 kilos behind Carola Gara is something to brag about.
To say the least.
Opening with 117.5 kilos, we have Annie Nelson from Great Britain.
This is the biggest we've ever seen Annie open.
Yeah, the heaviest we've seen Annie bench altogether is 120, so big improvements on the bench here.
Oh, not a friendly pause, but she handles it. Nevertheless, 3 white lights.
What are you thinking of jumps here? I think historically Annie usually likes a 5 kilo jump, but
I'm thinking maybe a 2.5, to be honest. It might look, that pause is totally fine, but it was on the longer side. And
yeah, I think it would be sensible, but maybe she knows exactly how to handle it and can do the 5 kilo jump. But if they're looking to be safer, 2.5 seems smart. Mark Jenner, 120 kilos. 10 kilos off Jenner's best. Plenty comfortable there for Jenner. 3 white lights.
doesn't look distressed at all as she leads the platform.
Janae Kovacs from the United States, 120 kilos for her opening bench press. 7.5 kilos less than we've seen her achieve on the platform. Left the squats with 202.5. currently still within reaching distance for that battle for podium.
Yeah, 2.5 kilos below what she opened with at American Nationals. Handled that well.
Looks like a pretty clean opening attempt, and it is 3 white lights. Always sense of relief when you see those white lights, particularly on bench, as it is so technical. The most possible infractions that you can pick up.
This will be a battle for that podium, and Janae, she's a contender, but she's likely going to need to pick up the pace in total around what she did at American Nationals, or maybe a little more. So far, pacing to be slightly less.
Marie-Jose Vandal, 120 kilos. And really, anybody misses. There are quite a few names in this flight. Most of this flight could podium. That's how stacked it is.
69 kilo class is very deep.
And that was just 2.5 below Vandal's best.
Reigning European champion on top form, and that's a big problem for the other 69s who want a podium finish.
And between 3rd and 6th right now, I'm projected really not much in it at all. 15 kilos between most of these ladies below Gara. Megan Scanlon of the United States. The next 2 benches were the ones that we were wondering how they'd go in terms of rule change. 130 for Meg Scanlon, and a little bit of extra body weight usually goes a long way on bench.
And her previous 69 kilo performances open with 137.5, 135. She's not taking any chances, opening quite a few kilos less. Test the waters. I like that. So look at.
So yeah, this is what we were worried about. This is what we were worried about. The depth pull from the center can't sink quite as deep to avoid the yellow, which would be the thrusting, but to get that bar back up needs that leg drive. So that's the adjustment we were worried about.
But if you're a Scanlon fan, she chose a weight that she has to make an adjustment on the day. This is lighter than she usually opens with.
Yeah, she's more than capable. She's been in this situation before and been able to adjust.
On the flip side, Gara has not taken a weight lighter than she usually opens with.
137.5 for Gara from Italy, and let's see how she adapts.
You know what? That actually looks pretty freaking clean. Maybe that's why. Yes, it is.
There we go.
So they were confident, and if they've done their research, their homework, if they got some refs they have access to, take a look at this. Yeah, that depth was good, and there was zero change on her torso.
So she's adapted really, really well, and that's why, you know, she didn't bring that temp down at all. Gara leading the pack with 137.5, and silver and bronze separated only by body weight currently between Vandal, Jenner, and Kovacs. And also, as we move through to the second round, Scanlon yet to get on the board, has had to adjust before, and the weight is light enough that she can do.
120, same second attempt as Bab took at last year's Worlds when she took the bronze medal overall.
A little slower towards lockout, but if she can add a couple extra kilos on top of what she hit last year to get that bronze, and she's in a really hot spot.
Yeah, last year she went up to 122.5 from here, and I'm expecting the same from her today.
And with Scanlon retaking the same weight, sensible. Also, the door blown wide open if other lifters start making lifts. If Jordan Bright from Ireland, who's coming out now, makes this only 10 kilos behind Scanlon moving forward.
And Janae Kovacs, who's been semi in the pocket, quickly catches up to her.
122.5 and pretty snappy.
3 white lights.
Great Britain's Annie Nelson opting for that 5 kilo jump that we're used to seeing her take. Got held a little bit longer on the pause on her first, so perhaps looking for maybe a slightly more controlled touch to get that command a little quicker.
the 5 kilo jumps we're used to, but usually she doesn't open up with 117.5. Usually that's her second attempt. Her bench has improved. She's stronger now. Where does that lend her on the day? Oh, kind of came down in segments. Goes up in segments as well.
Yeah, and it's there. And 2.5 definitely seems like the right shout for that third if she can get those extra couple kilos in that fight.
So she opened heavier than she usually does. Ended up taking the same 5 kilo jump she likes, but second attempt was heavier. But was she a little overly ambitious with those attempt selections on how heavy she's opening and finishing up? Appears.
Janae Kovacs, 125 kilos, a 5 kilo jump here. The American lifter, just 2.5 below her personal best, and the opener was pretty speedy. And as you said before, really sneaking up the ranks just if she gets this. 2.5 kilos behind Megan Scanlon.
So at American Nationals, she left with 127.5. That was on her second. Maybe she's just pacing a little better. They held her out here a little long. I'm not sure. Is it her thumb not wrapped around the bar?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think that's what it is. So she got told to re-rack. She has 10 seconds to get that command.
Let her go. Let her go. She has this. There we go.
But that was pushed, yeah, and she just didn't have enough time to set up. It took her 10 or so seconds the first time, and she had to set up within 2 or 3 seconds that time round, and that's going to hurt her as well.
So if she hits that 125, she left American Nationals 127.5. She's not far off of that.
But like you said, with such a deep 69 kilo class, you can't really be afford to making these mistakes. And when other lifters are hitting, Marie Jose Vandal, 125, 5 kilo jump. And this would put her at the same total as Kovacs if Kovacs makes that 125 on her third. A little wonky on the chest, but manages to still press it just fine.
You know what? At a time when she needs to be the European champ, really stepping up.
Don't get that title for no reason. Also has a sizable deadlift on her as well. Mark Jenner taking a 7.5 kilo jump to 127.5, getting close to the known top end we have for Jenner. Moves her into bench rest silver for the time being. Scanlon without a bench on the board yet. Gara to follow. Three white lights, a good lift. And an extremely important lift coming up now for Megan Scanlon from the United States. Got called for depth and thrusting on her opening attempt. The weight more than comfortable for her, choosing to retake it, which is certainly the correct decision here. 130 remains in the bar. And she's going to want to get this so she can make up some kilos in that third if possible.
This adjustment is pivotal. It's hard to tell.
And still
3 white lights and Scanlon back in the race.
Yeah.
That is why they had to lower that opener.
And I'm glad that's what they chose. And I'm still sure she's in the race as she can add more kilos now to that third.
Yeah, no torso movement there. Depth was on point. Probably go up another 5 kilos, see what happens.
145 kilos now for Carola Gara. Had a very clean opening attempt, 3 white lights, and this would land her just 5 kilos off her best bench.
And that 137.5 was very convincing. She's really adjusted to these new rules. Look. Oh,
wow, speaking of which.
Yeah, that was surprising. So fast off the chest just before lockout.
And perhaps 7.5 kilos with those adjustments is a little heavier than with her old technique. And we move through to the final round of bench, and we're seeing some misses from some pretty big hitters in the 69s. And what that will do to that final fight, who's to say?
If it tones down Scanlon and Gara, who are at the forefront, really, it becomes anyone's game.
We head through to the final round of bench press, and Chandler Babb looks to take 125 kilos, which you thought she'd take the 122.5. This would be for a personal best should she make it.
Little surprise. Hopefully it's not overly ambitious.
And I think USVI, where they see some of the big lifters missing, they're looking to capitalize if possible. But it only works if you get those kilos. They took the risk, but unfortunately didn't pay off for them this time around. And is the podium going to look like those 9-for-9 lifters today? Annie Nowson from Great Britain, 125 on the bar, opting for that 2.5 kilo jump that we expected her to take.
$5 kilo personal best. Oh, no.
Yeah, just a little too much there on the day. Still walks away with a bench PB from her second, but those extra couple kilos evade her today. Quite the shake-up this bench session. Janae Kovacs missing that 125 on her second, looking to retake a hit here, pick up those 5 extra pivotal kilos in the fight for podium.
This should be a weight that Janae can handle. Leaving bench, lost 5 kilos behind. Bench squat 5 kilos behind. Bench 2.5. But some of the other lifters are missing as well. And she's not so far behind that she can't take a swing at some medals. Nicely done there. And Janae
picks up those extra 5 kilos, and they will be pivotal.
Yeah, she stays in the hunt.
And the gaps look to close. Should Jordan Bright of Ireland make this, just moving forward into deadlifts on projected total 2.5 kilos behind Kovacs, 127.5, already looking here for a 2.5 kilo personal best on bench.
Chandler Babb also in the projected. Both her and Kovacs, 542.5, and to your point, Jordan, 540 if she hits this. Oh.
A little too much on the day for Bright. Doesn't throw her back so far, particularly with a lot of people missing, but they definitely would have been useful in that fight. Marie-Jose Van Dow, 127.5, opting for a 2.5 kilo jump, not looking to make any risks, especially seeing how many people are missing benches.
This 2.5 kilos move her projected to 540, just 2.5 kilos behind the pacing of Babb and Kovacs for a possible medal. So tight of a race to get onto that podium. Can she hit? Oh, that right arm. No.
Got everything she could out of her bench with that 125, and again doesn't fall so far behind. The race is still extremely close.
And still a lot can happen in that deadlift event.
3 benches remaining, first of which to take 132.5, Mark Jenner, 5 kilo jump, looking to move from bench press bronze into silver with Scanlon to follow. Bench press gold already taken by Gara with her opening attempt.
she fought for that last bench. 3 white lights.
$135 for Megan Scanlon, readjusted on her second and found the technique the referees were happy with, jumping 5 kilos, well below where we know her strength is, but looking to pick up the kilos she can on the day, which is important.
If she hits this and Gara misses once again, and it looked like Gara missed on strength, Megan does have traditionally the bigger deadlift. Anyone's game moving into the deadlifts. Is it white lights? Oh.
Unfortunately called for depth, and you can see the disappointment. Oh, look at that in the replay. Found the depth in the second. Referees were happy enough with it.
That looks a stitch higher on that replay.
Yeah, and the coach goes to the jury, but the jury send him away. She'll walk away with 130 and still with bench press bronze, but those extra kilos would have been extremely useful in that overall fight.
However, if Gara misses, I think we're right back to this fight being very close, neck and neck.
Carola Gara, 145 kilos. And it's a big fight, and it's not there today. And even with that, you know, it's still a long day ahead. Gara has a pretty sizable lead of 19.5 kilos heading into deadlift and projected total. And what an eventful bench session. Walking away with bench press bronze, Scanlon with 130. In silver, Chenna with 132.5, and bench press gold, Gara with 137.5. Look at those subtotals moving forward. Gara with a sizable lead, but below her, a very, very tight battle for podium.
As we look at the men's 105, Anthony McNaughton leading that charge. And Panza, 180 kilos. Something that has me concerned. Okay, Anatoly, 217.5, perfect. Looking at those openers, I saw 230, and that was for Anthony McNaughton. For a second there, I thought that was for Anatoly. He's like, whoa, a little heavy on the opening side. And Nathaniel Messiah, 197.5. Nicely done for Nathaniel.
Yeah, Junior Worlds last year had a bit of a mishap with attempt selection, and the coaches accidentally made him jump, I think it was 20 kilos from his opening bench to his second, and he still managed to get it, but let's hope this time round more sensible jumps.
Yeah, after he hit that, I'm sure his coach was like, oh, thank God. Could have been a major talking point. 200 kilos, Diego Salgado of Mexico.
Has been told to replace, again, just asking for the thumbs to be wrapped around the bar, where on squat it has to be in contact. On bench they are looking for it to be wrapped around the bar.
It can be just a stitch difficult with that angle to wrap your thumb. Just got to curl it down. Satisfy the head ref. Eliam Chamdu, 205 kilos. Uh-oh. No lift off. That is a long way up and a long way down.
Only 10 seconds to get that command now. Manages to get it.
Three white lights. Emil Norling opening with 210 kilos. Looked like he has adjusted to the day. Previously, when he was 111 kilos, he opened with 215. Last time we saw him as a 105, he opened with 210. I think the squats taught him. Adjust. You're back to 105.
It's a good lift, 3 white lights. And yeah, as we were saying before, with the 69s in regards to Meg, a little bit of body weight on bench press does go a long way in terms of strength. So that cut back down to the 105s definitely could have had an impact again.
Regan Stragakis opening with 217.5. We've never seen him open this heavy. Well, bench has improved. 3 white lights. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, his coach heading into this had a bit of conversation with me saying his bench has been going pretty well. It's the best bench prep he's had in quite a minute. Let's see how that turns out.
Anatoly Novopismani, 217.5. Usually we see him take world record squats. Earlier we seen potentially a world record lunge. 350 kilos. Somebody fact check that. Makes easy work to do 17.5.
Yeah, very comfortable looking opening attempt.
I saw Anatoly in the back. I said, that's one of the most incredible comebacks I've ever seen. My goodness, we were talking through an interpreter. He looked at me and in the limited English he had said, I'll be back. Perfect wording, and he is. Hits 217.5 right back in the mix. Wouldn't it be a story if he ends up on the platform? 230 for Anthony McNaughton's opening bench. Defending reigning world champion. Makes easy work of that.
Yeah, extremely comfortable looking opener. I mean, as it stands, even with the mishap with squat only getting one squat in, he's still projected on the podium in third, and definitely benefits him being one of the biggest squatters in the world in his weight class. Now, only one squat can do that.
He does have a huge subtotal. He usually loses ground in the deadlift. And attempt selection will be very much important for Anatoly if he's going to end up on the podium when it comes to the deadlifts. 187.5. And Ponza. 7.5 kilo jump, 5 kilos below his personal best. Bit of work there, gets it to lockout.
3 white lights, a good lift. And And great to see everybody on the board with no major infractions there in that first round. So can look to add kilos here in the second and third attempts.
Diego Salgado of Mexico opening with second round 207.5, 7.5 kilo jump. Nicely done.
2-1, a good lift. He's getting a depth call from that center referee, so we'll have a look at that here in the replay.
Yeah, head on, it does look a stitch high. I see the jury seeing what we're seeing and deliberating, and they did overturn it. Nathaniel Messiah, 207.5. Biggest bench he's had, 212.5. You can see him hitting this, taking a 5 kilo jump, possibly a little more depending how this moves.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I'm wondering if he clipped the rack on the right-hand side there, if it was just a bit of a sticking point. Have a look at that again in the replay, Ryan.
It was so fast and explosive until he hit what looked like a speed wobble, but you might be right about it clipping. Yes, something. I am not sure. It's hard to tell with that angle.
Perhaps it was just a bit of a sticking point.
I think they're going to proceed with caution after that. 215 for Emil Norling.
This will land Emil 5 kilos off his best bench at 105.
And that is an important note because I think he's pacing back to the 105s. He's hit 227.5 at a heavier body weight.
And mentally it can be tough, like you said, knowing that you've hit these weights before, 6 kilos heavier, you know, coming in feeling like maybe that is still a possibility.
Well, you're always going to talk yourself into it. I can pull it off. I'll summon the strength. Guys like Shell Becklin turn miracles. I got the shit go. 215. Eliam Chamdou of France. 10 kilo jump, 3.5 kilos below his personal best.
Just like the opening, gets the start command late. Doesn't slow him down though. Keeps focused, eyes forward.
I don't think he's got to worry about those lights. 3 white. If that elbow depth doesn't pass, I don't know what will. 227.5. Second attempt for Regan Stragakis. Best bench he's ever had, 230. Getting close to that top end. 10 kilo jumps. Going to be interesting to see how this moves. Well, we probably are close to that top end. What do you think, Amelia?
Yeah, it's getting a little shaky towards lockout there. And his issue a lot of the time when we've seen him bench and struggle has been his feet slipping. So I want to have a look at this again, both at the speed and see if his leg drive moves feet at all. They seem planted.
Well, I can also give you another stat. That 230 was when he himself weighed 110. His best 105 bench is 227.5. Speaking of 227.5, Anatoly Novopismani. Much less dramatic bench press than his squat session. Relatively easy work at that second attempt.
Yeah, extremely comfortable. And just to pin back to Reagan quickly, you know, it's not the position now where he's as safe as they expected that he can put a risky third in. He wants to chase Emil and Anatoly, but Messiah only 10 kilos behind him currently. He can't afford to start making those big risks, not yet.
Anthony McNaughton, 242.5 for his second round of bench. Makes easy work of that. Pacing very similarly as he did at last year's Worlds for the bench press event. McNaughton leading the charge with 242.5. Anatoly, 227.5. And Reagan, same weight, higher body weight. Oh, the jury overturned Anthony McNaughton's bench.
Yeah, for elbow depth, so
A little unexpected.
that does throw a spanner in the works.
And Ponza, 190. That's a 12.5 kilo takeaway on the returning champ. Look at this fight though, a little too much. Team America opting for a 245 on Anthony's final bench. Nathaniel Messiah back 210 kilos for his final bench.
Yeah, I think a sensible choice here. As I said, he's not a million miles behind Sagakis. He's faced him before, and they both have a big pull on them. Trying to put the pressure on a little bit by making his attempts here.
Yeah, so the second attempt, remember, we were wondering, did he clip the rack on the way up? There was definitely a stutter. 2.5 kilos, probably the safe bet. And to your point, he's going to need those 2.5 kilos if he's going to close in on old rival Regan Stragakis. Salgado of Mexico, 215. They missed 207.5 on seconds. Going up 7.5 for thirds. Just like in the squat. Missed the lift, go up anyways. Worked for them last time. Oh wow, looks like it might have worked again. 3 white lights, the judges agree.
The bar is still proceeded to 17.5.
$217.5 for Emil Norling's final bench of the day.
And he is neck and neck with Anatoly should they both make that final bench. Anatoly considerably lighter, coming in at 99.6 kilos.
Difference being Norling has a much bigger deadlift.
That's the perfect number.
And Norling and Novopismani have been rivals for years, both at Worlds as well as Europeans. It is an interesting battle to get onto the podium for the 105s. 220. Eliam Chamdou of France moving up 5 kilos from the second attempt.
Very controlled to the chest there.
Oh, it is a fight at that lockout. That is not coming up on the left side.
Yeah, that right arm continued to move, but the left just jams there at the bottom.
Denmark opting to move up 5 kilos for Regan Stragakis.
This would be a 5 kilo personal best. Like you said, his coach said this was a great bench press prep for him. Second was a little tough.
And that's where my concern lies. I know they feel pressure from Great Britain and Nathaniel, and they are trying to close some gaps on Anatoly and Norling. Stay close enough if they start missing lifts in the deadlifts. Hopefully it's there. That's going to be a big ask.
I think it was perhaps a little greedy for that 5 kilo jump. I can see what they were trying to do, getting away from Messiah and trying to push Emil and Anatoly. But it's left him 20 kilos behind Norling and 10 kilos ahead of Messiah.
So the gap closer with Nathaniel and widens from Emil Norling and Anatoly. Anatoly back out 232.5.
And what a comeback after that squat session. 5 kilos on his second, and this would be just half kilo below his best bench.
He's a legend. Oh my gosh.
Just so strong.
And his legend is going to grow no matter what the outcome is. .245. Anthony McNaughton missed 242.5 on his second attempt. Elbow depth, that's new for Anthony. Going up 2.5 kilos. The weight should be just fine. That's got to be deep enough. 3 white lights, no surprises there.
And he's built a pretty sizable lead on projected totals, currently 30 kilos ahead of Nobuspinieni and Norling.
Yeah, he's safe, especially with Anatoly and Norling so close. They got to keep eyes on each other. And then, of course, Regan and Nathaniel trying to keep pace and do everything they can. But the gold medal in bench press for Anthony McNaughton, Anatoly, remarkable comeback from squats, taking the silver medal for the bench press. And Regan Stragakis, 227.5, clinches the bronze. We will take a short break as we look at the subtotals, the spread with Anthony McNaughton, Anatoly, and of course earlier today, Ilya had a subtotal of 570. Short break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes for the women's 69 kilo and men's 105 kilo deadlifts.
And welcome back to the 2026 IPF World Powerlifting Championships here in Druskininkai, Lithuania. We head immediately into the conclusion of the 69 kilo and 105 kilo classes, and quite the battle ensues. We can see the subtotals as they stand. Gara with a pretty hefty lead. Bright just behind Scanlon, Chenna and Nelson in top 5. Huge the subject to change as deadlifts come in. You can see here projected totals. Gara leading currently. Bishu from the B group currently holding on to silver. These ladies know the bar they have to hit, but if you look below that, Scanlon, Bab, Kovacs, Van Dau, all within 5 kilos of each other, and just behind that, 5 kilos behind Van Dau, we have Bright from Ireland.
With Gara and Scanlon both opening at 202.5. Gara is so far in the lead. Scanlon, Team USA are definitely going to be fighting for silver. But to your point, in those projected 545 down to 540, 4 women right there within 5 kilos of each other. It is so close. And only 2 other spots on that podium underneath Gara. And yeah, for sure, Jordan Bright up 535. Totally conceivable of her making a play as well. Anybody's game.
And here comes Jordan Bright from Ireland, 187.5. 10 kilos separates 3rd and 7th right now. Lovely easy opening attempt from Bright. Just waiting for the 3rd line, but I can't imagine anything wrong with that. And 3 white lights, a good lift as expected. Mark Jenner out next, looking to open on 200 kilos, 20 kilos below her best. And 3 white lights, a good lift, securing her total. All these 8 ladies looking to secure their total, and that's really when the battle begins and they can start pushing each other right now. No risks need to be made. Carola Gara, 202.5 kilos, up to her opening deadlift by 2.5.
Not sure if she's feeling threatened. You would think she need not. When she hits this, she's at 567 already.
3 white lights, a good lift. And I imagine the total that she's chasing is 597.5 today, 596 if she can get that bang on.
She has been such a dominant force, even dating all the way back to 2019 IPF World Championships, when she won her first Classic World title.
Megan Scanlon, 202.5 kilos. Still well in the fight for podium. Not a closed book entirely yet, but Gara with such a strong lead. Really, the fight will be for silver and for bronze for most athletes there. Annie Nelson from Great Britain, 205 kilos. Personal best of 230. in the past has had a little bit of grip issues on her final deadlift. Has seemed to fix that up more recently.
Wow.
And that was extremely comfortable. Janae Kovacs coming out for 215 kilos. We've seen Kovacs hit as high as 235 on home soil. Missed 245 at US Nationals.
That's right. And earlier in 2025, she has gone 242, but today doesn't seem to be pacing for those PRs, although deadlift, different event. And she just might be pulling for a world championship medal.
3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, different story to US Nats. More names in the hat here, more contenders to worry about.
Three of these ladies already won world titles.
Marie Jose Van Dal up to her opening attempt, 2.5 kilos, and she means business. She is on so fast and off just as quickly.
Actually, excuse me, pardon me, that's downplaying it. Three of these ladies have won multiple world titles. So yes, definitely a lot deeper a class than US Nationals, and then you have the European champion as well. Speaking of multiple-time world champion.
Chandler Babb opening up last here with 232.5 kilos. We've seen her hit as heavy as 247.5.
And in a battle for the podium, this lady is going to have the last say. That's the best possible position when it's a tight race.
Strong looking opener for Babb, and she's on the board, 3 white light. Everybody has secured their opening deadlift, their total is safe, and now the battle really begins. Babb leading deadlift gold currently. Bashu holding on to second still with the silver on bodyweight behind Babb. Van Dal currently in bronze, with that to change as we move into the second round. And as I said, this is really where the fight gets into the nitty and gritty, pushing for those overall medals. Jordan Bright jumping to 202.5 kilos. And it is so close for the time being. This pulls her into bronze. Still a lot of names to pull after. Who can keep making lifts?
And that's exactly it. Some of these ladies missed earlier, but in this deadlift event, the first one to miss, likely the one that's going to fall off the podium. No more room for error.
And looking to play it a little safer here for Team Italy, which seems sensible to me. Carola Gara, 212.5, a 10 kilo jump, which seems like a sensible decision to me, taking a 10 kilo jump to secure that lead.
She's pulled as heavy as 220, and she's got that in her back pocket for her thirds, but she really wants to discourage these ladies by not missing. You're battling for silver, you're battling for bronze, gold is mine. Don't look ahead, defend what you have in front of you. And she's got more in the tank if someone wants to take a big Hail Mary. And you never know. It is close enough to your point.
Meg Scanlon, 212.5 kilos, taking a 10 kilo jump here. Moves her back into silver. This will jump around a lot with the amount of names fighting for podium position.
Jordan Bright currently at 550. This will move Megan to 555.
Oh, a little bit of trouble towards the lockout there, Ryan.
That actually, oh my gosh, still pass. Keep walking, young lady.
Yeah.
Pay no attention to the jury.
Gets a blue light from the center referee. Jury lean in. We're watching that here on the replay, and that would be a painful miss for Scanlon if they overrule that.
I wait with bated breath.
And the jury has overruled that to a no lift for Scanlon, and talk about spanner in the works. This is where you have to start making risks, especially as Scanlon is one of the earlier pullers in the flight. Mark Jenner, 217.5 kilos, a 17.5 kilo jump.
And now Van Dahl, Kovacs, Babb, all looking to pull ahead of Scanlon.
And definitely not worth counting Jenner out. She is battle tested, and this 17.5 kilo jump would give her 547.5, moves her into 4th overall.
That's actually ahead of Scanlon. Same with Amy Nelson. I mean, they're all going to move ahead of Scanlon, and how crazy is that? It's just so tight, though.
Yeah, I mean, heading into deadlifts, Bright as well, sitting ahead of Scanlon.
I said earlier, you miss, you might not make it to the podium. My gosh, I didn't anticipate of all people Megan Scanlon, but it looks like they put in 230 for a final pull. All could be well if she still hits her 3rd.
Annie Nelson from Great Britain taking a 15 kilo jump to 220. Strong looking second, Ryan. And that pulls her into 5th overall for the time being. Ahead of Scanlon, who now currently sits in 6th with that missed second.
How quickly your fortunes turn when it's this close. One missed lift.
Janae Kovacs taking a 17.5 kilo jump to 232.5, and this will pull her into silver overall for the time being. Again, it's going to jump around a lot, but it's so close. It's worth keeping you up to date with where that's going.
Now it all depends on the day. She's left with only 235. She's left with 242. What kind of a day is she having? She needs this. Now there's more.
It's strong. It's near to her known top end, but where is her actual top end today is a different question. Marie-Jose Van Douw from the Netherlands, 232.5 kilos. This will pull Van Douw into 3rd place for the time being. She looks like she's got more in the tank. That deadlift is a big weapon of hers. And you could not guess the podium right now at this point.
No, it's... People are throwing in placeholders. Janae Kovacs has 250 in there, which definitely is a placeholder. That would put her over Gara. And I don't think anyone's threatening Gara for gold.
Chandler Babb, 242.5, 10 kilo jump, and this would pull Babb into 5th position heading into the 3rd round. Bright's dropped to 212.5.
Solid second pull for Babb. 3 white lights.
It's strong, but is there enough left in there to contend for podium anymore? It's tight to get on.
She can grind if she has to. I got a feeling These third polls, we're going to see a lot of misses.
And as we head into the third and final round, and it's going to be an exciting round at that. Bab leads the deadlift at 242.5, separated by bodyweight Van Down Bashu, silver and bronze. But if we have a look at these projected totals, how close that is from 8th to 2nd. This is just based on whether these last deadlifts change.
And we expect them to. There's definitely some placeholders.
Jordan Bright had a placeholder in, has dropped now. She doesn't have deadlift advantage, coming out first, taking a 10 kilo jump for a new personal best, 212.5 to give her 560. This would be a huge end to the day, and for the time being pulls her into silver place overall. And when she needed it the most, she has it.
560 it is for Jordan Bright. Ireland on the podium for the time being. Attempt changes, no surprise. People adjusting. Oh, this is going to be an exciting final round as the podium sorts itself out.
And now the coaching team scrambled to figure out what's the absolutely biggest deadlift we can get safely out of our lifters and fight for those podium positions. The risk, the time to take a risk is now.
Yeah, it's going to be high risk, high reward for sure. Somebody's got to break away. While a couple of these ladies have to break away.
Gara, 217.5, not to be caught. The silver and bronze are what being battled for right now. This would give her a total of 582.
Yeah, she broke away a long time ago. Another phenomenal performance by Carola Gara, future Hall of Famer.
3 white lights, a good lift, ends on 582. And your 2026 world champion, I think, is safe to say.
The amount of titles this young lady's had in and out of equipment.
Megan Scanlon taking a 5 kilo jump, 217.5. This is to pull her into 7 to match Jordan Bright's total at a lighter body weight.
And 5 kilo jump from a missed lift, though. Important to keep that in mind. If she misses this, she's moving forward with just her opener in a 545 total. Hits, she moves right up to 560, and to your point, silver medal if temporarily. All or nothing, but she hits. Pivotal move by Team USA.
3 white lights, a good lift, and moves into silver for the time being, but not safe, not yet. There are still 5 deadlifts to go, and at least 2 of those ladies will be pushing for that position. Mark Jenner, 227.5 for her 3rd attempt. This would give her 557.5, which today would only be good enough for 5th overall.
And it's only 2.5 kilos off of Jordan Bright, who is currently in bronze. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's how close it is. You're 2.5 kilos behind, you're several places behind. Big effort to finish top 5 in a stacked division.
And I think that was the right number on the day. 2 to 1, a good lift. Bars loaded for Annie Nelson of Great Britain, looking to move into deadlift bronze and 4th overall in a stacked 69 kilo class. This would be a personal best on the deadlift and on her total, leaving her with 560. Again, just heavier than Bright and Scanlon, who are currently in silver and bronze at this total.
Yeah, Bright and Scanlon both at 560. Kovacs currently at 560 as well. Can you imagine all those ladies leave? Oh, no.
And not there today. It was the right number, you know, 2.5 kilos more wouldn't have moved either. Looking for position and a potential medal. And three more lifters, the final three lifters all pulling for podium position.
Yeah.
Janae Kovacs, who is lighter than Scanlon, no, is heavier than Scanlon and Bright. They only needed to jump 2.5 kilos. They've jumped to 565, 4 or 565 total, 237.5, a little
Yeah.
more than they needed.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully she nails this anyways.
It's only 5 kilos up from that second. This would move her into silver, knocking Jordan Bright down into fourth.
Unless they think Bab and Van Dahl are going to threaten after her and they need this. Oh, nicely done. Kovacs, 3 white lights, and she hits hard, bumping down legendary Megan Scanlon, and actually rises that bar for anyone who wants to attempt to take that silver. You're going to want to actually swing for the bronze. Team USA, high risk, high reward on that one, but maybe they're convincing people, pull for bronze, not for silver.
Anne-Marie Jose Van Dahl is doing
And they are.
exactly that. She is going for bronze, 237.5 to take it off of Meg Scanlon and locks it out. Was that a clean movement to take bronze? No, unfortunately not today, but what a valiant effort. And we've had an attempt change. It can only be from Chandler Babb, so of course it is for Chandler Babb. Down 247.5. She is not pushing for podium, so the podium is, they've changed again.
Okay.
That might not be correct final information. Back to 250.
Okay.
But they're pushing for fourth, so the podium does remain the same. This is 10 kilos off the world deadlift record. This, of course, keeps the deadlift gold with her. That can't be taken away. Podium is set. This would move her into fourth, knocking Jordan Bright from fourth to fifth. And that would be on body weight, giving Chandler Babb 560 as well.
This is a 2.5 kilo personal best for Chandler, looking to move from 8th place to 4th place. And number 1, gold on deadlifts.
Just 7.5 kilos more than her second. It's tough. And unfortunately, just at the knees there, keeps deadlift gold, but remains an 8th overall. And Ryan in an incredibly stacked 69 kilo class. We'll wait a second until the replay is done to have a look at those numbers before moving on to the men. Those totals, we have Chandler Babb in gold for deadlift, Kovacs in silver, and Van Dahl in bronze. But more importantly, Carola Garra, of course, your 2026 world champion. Looking below that, Kovacs in silver with 565. Scanlon and Bright only separated by body weight, and a big rising for the Irish lifter there, getting close and matching Scanlon's total.
Yeah, and this was a rematch between Kovacs and Megan Scanlon. Kovacs splitting the difference. And the Americans, gutsy move there, going up more than they needed for bronze to clinch the silver, and having the other ladies settle for bronze pulling. High risk, high reward, but it worked out in the end, and Janae Kovacs takes your silver. And there you have Salgado of Mexico, 310, hits his opening pull as we enter into the men's 105s. And Panza opening up with 322.5.
Comfortable looking opener there, and a good lift. And looking at the opening attempt, it seems like McNaughton has dropped his attempt, whilst Stagakis and Messiah both have upped their opening attempt. alongside Chandu. Norling has chosen to keep his the same.
Anthony McNaughton, 327.5. Makes easy work of that. Anthony McNaughton already at 940. Back to being a dominant force in the 105s. Anatoly Novopismani, multiple-time world champion, two-time world's best lifter, 330 kilos for his opening pull. And how crazy is this young man's story if he ends up on the podium with how his day started? Wow.
He'll have that body weight advantage ahead of Norling. Currently, their totals that are projected are neck and neck.
Like they usually are.
Norling, of course, with the bigger deadlift of the two. Anatoly lost some ground with that crazy squat session.
Iliam Chandu, 340. Chandu, representing France, will solidify 877.5 as soon as he hits his opener. Snappy.
And a good lift, we might like.
Regan Stragakis, 345. Starting his total at 897.5.
I'm wondering if Team Denmark saw Team Great Britain up that opening attempt and wanted to keep the gap between them the same, or as big as they could.
He makes easy work of that weight. It is the biggest opening pull Regan's ever had. To your point, perhaps feeling a little bit of pressure by Team Great Britain. Wanting to keep that lead. Speaking of, 345 stays on the bar for Nathaniel Messiah. Also the biggest pull he's ever opened with.
Also a very easy opener.
Yeah. Ground to cover for both of these men. And the final opener of the day, Emil Norling, 355 kilos. As he tries to chase down the legendary Anatoly Novopismani once again.
Very smooth opening attempt for Norling.
Looks like he's going to stay pulling sumo. Used to be a conventional puller. Switched late stage in his career. And as it stands with deadlifts, Norling, the biggest so far after one round. Nathaniel, 345. Regan, but here's really what we come for in the projected. Anthony McNaughton building a sizable lead, very reminiscent of the 69s. 925, 925, Anatoly and Emil Norling. Salgado, 337.5. Second pull is successful.
this is where we see the lifters, as we did in the 69, start to try and push each other a little bit more, start to take those risks.
And those projecteds we saw updated now. Anatoly with 342.5. That projected, if he hits, his total will be 925, where Emil Norling, 370, will bump past him at 927.5. Let's see how Anatoly manages this 342.5. This should be getting closer to the top end for him. Wow, but today he's just, it's like the earlier just set a fire in him and he's refusing to go away.
And you've got to think, what would that total look like if that mishap didn't happen with squats as well?
Can you imagine? That was an opening weight, able to take it despite the mishaps. He's squatted as heavy as 375 in his day. 345 for Anthony McNaughton. Makes easy work of that. His total now, 957.5. He's really starting to put a spread between him and Emil and Anatoly. And Ponza, 347.5 for his second pull.
To 1A, good lift. Just a lockout call from the left side referee. Couldn't quite catch that in the replay. Oh, there we go. This is the side he gets the white from.
$365 now being loaded for Regan Stragakis. Regan has pulled as heavy as 375. Looks like he might be pacing for more than that. This is the heaviest second pull he's ever attempted. Wow.
3 white lights, a good lift and makes light work of that jump.
Regan and Team Denmark sending a message to Team Great Britain. And Nathaniel and Britain looking to respond, 367.5.
Taking that ever so slightly bigger jump. Closing the gap whichever way they can. And again, another comfortable second, Ryan.
Everybody making easy work of their seconds. Sometimes you see somebody working a little harder than you expected for a second round deadlift. Nobody's wilting yet. $370 for Emil Norling. This is around top end for Emil.
Slows down a bit towards lockout, but pretty comfortable nonetheless.
It's comfortable, but compared to the other seconds, that was the most laborious, and it is around top end in terms of his 105 performances. Usually he's around 375, that being 370. A little bit on the higher end, but he's got a little more room. He has temporarily nudged a hole ahead of Anatoly. Just 2.5 kilos. Chandu, 370.
white lights, a good lift, a strong looking second for Eliam. And of course, takes deadlift, gold for the time being.
Eliam lifting amongst several world champions and might leave with the gold medal in the deadlift. Not bad bragging rights. Salgado of Mexico, 350. Finishes day with 880 if he's successful here. Team Mexico took a couple misses, moved up regardless, never lost pace. Strong final pull, 3 white lights, 880 it is. Iliam so far in the lead with Emil Norling on bodyweight silver. Nathaniel not far behind in terms of the deadlift medal standings. 352.5 for Anatoly Novopismani. This will move him back in the silver medal position.
Of course, the lighter puller, Norling can drop his third attempt and answer.
Wow, what a day this man is having. 3 white lights, 3 for 3 in the deadlifts, and his total 935. Back to the silver medal position he goes.
And an incredible day regardless, but despite the fact of his squats, he could have, on a perfect day, pushed McNaughton.
Yeah, if you add another 22.5 kilos on there, and it's totally conceivable he would have went from opener to third, 22.5 kilos in the squat event. He'd be neck and neck with Anthony right now, forcing Anthony to pull for the win. Impanza, 357.5. Scrappy third attempt. 3 white lights. Anthony McNaughton up next. 367.5 kilos. He's previously hit as heavy as 369. This will move his total to 980, a new world record. Anthony just cruising to his second world title back to back, reasserting his dominance in the weight class, and look how smooth and easy that was.
And a new world record total, extending it by a further 2.5 kilos as he carries his coach off.
Anthony McNaughton is back. The crown rests securely on his head. Emil Norling, 375.
Doesn't look like he's looking to push Anatoly.
Kind of surprising. Does he feel threatened by Regan for a podium finish? This will put Norling 932.5.
He would have had to hit 380 to surpass Anatoly, as Anatoly is lighter.
And this is, look, 370 was top end for Emil. If we're honest, 375 is even going to be a push. And it's the biggest pull he's had at 105. So I think he wants to defend bronze.
And it seems like the smart decision.
Right. Nicely done. Is it enough? We're going to find out shortly. Regan Stragakis now coming out to 377.5. Well, temp change. I don't think it's for Regan. 377.5. Yeah, they call bars loaded. This will move his total to 930. Put him in gold medal. Wait a second. What's happening right now?
They tried to move it up, and I think they did allow the change.
Gotcha. So they just didn't. All right. So 382.5. This will move Regan into bronze medal position ahead of Mil Norling. Should he hit this?
They are exactly the same on body weight.
Wow. Now this is a 7.5 kilo personal best for Regan, but his second attempt, 365, flew.
Can he make it happen when it really counts?
If he unseats a Mil, former open world champion, the junior star trying to, for the first time, clinch an open world's medal. Huge pull by Regan.
Oh,
the way to lock out. Massive final pull, 2-1. It's good, and Regan Strigakis nudges off the legendary Mil Norling off of the podium and snag his bronze medal.
Absolutely incredible, and as expected, perhaps Team GB looking to pull something monumental to try to do the same to Strigakis. He would have to put 395, I believe, on the bar. No, they're looking to drop.
Yeah, I was going to say, listen, Nathaniel's biggest all time is 375. 395 is...
It was a big ask.
That's a big ask. I love to believe in miracles, and everybody loves a good sports movie. This would be the craziest ending to Nathaniel's. He's a young man, and he'll have another third act. This will move his total to 922.5. First place in deadlifts, gold medal, not bad for the deadlift event, and top 5 overall. What a way to finish. Will he take deadlift gold? Oh, and
wow.
Deadlift gold it is for Nathaniel Messiah of Great Britain. And Great Britain is having a phenomenal World Championships this year.
Absolutely incredible finish for Messiah, and you want to know what that top end deadlift is, because it was tough, but I think there are a few more kilos in there. What a strong finish, and what an upset with Strigakis.
Listen, not a single failed attempt so far, and another gold medal actually, potentially, on the cards. 397.5
right.
for Ilium Chandu of France, which will knock Nathaniel Messiah down.
Well, Ryan, it will also knock Strigakis off the podium overall and put him into bronze. So this is not just for deadlift gold, this is for bronze overall. 397.5.
Look at the chalk under Chandu's eyes. Gold in deadlifts, bronze overall. Oh, and can he lock it out?
Is that locked out? Oh, 2-1, 8, no lift.
I gotta be honest, I'm gonna be honest here, I don't think it was fully locked out.
Yeah, and the jury are already getting up from their seats. I think they're happy that's a closed book story.
That's, his shoulders aren't quite back, Evan.
But what an effort.
I mean, it was a phenomenal showing. That's the only missed lift of all of the 105s in the entire deadlift session.
Wow.
As Nathaniel Messiah leaves with gold, Regan Strigakis silver, and Emil Norling bronze in the deadlift event. But overall, Anthony McNaughton with 980 in an absolutely dominating performance, back on top. Anatoly Novopitsmani in a phenomenal comeback story, 935, clinching that silver medal, and Regan Strigakis proving he has emerged as a threat in the open, grabbing his first open world's medal, also with 935, just bowing down due to body weight. And then, of course, how close is that? 932.5. Emil Norling just off of there, and Nathaniel Messiah, a future threat, 922.5. Phenomenal session, Amelia.
Yeah, for both fights, 69 and the 105. surprises, upsets, and you couldn't have asked for more from both flights. I'm left speechless.
We will take a short break and be right back with the medal ceremony.
with a new open world record of 227.5. Squad goal goes to Italy and Carola Gara. Congrats, ladies. We're moving on to the bench press event. Bronze medalist with an attempt at 130 from the USA is Megan Scanlon. Bench press silver with 132.5 goes to Norway and Ante Kiena. $137.5 is what was needed for bench press gold. Goes to Italy and Carola Gara. Thank you, ladies. We're moving on to the deadlift event. With 232.5, deadlift bronze goes to the Netherlands and Marie-José van Dijk. With our third deadlift at 237.5, Jenny Kovacs from the USA gets deadlift silver. With 242.5, deadlift gold goes to the US Virgin Island and Chandler Babb. Congrats, ladies. It is now time for the final placings. From the junior studio open, your bronze medalist with 5'6" is, your bronze medalist with 5'60" is Megan Scanlon from the USA. Silver medalist and vice champion of the world with 5'65" from the junior studio open is Jenny Kovacs from the USA. And leading the charge all competition long, your 2026 world champion in the 69 with 582.5 is Carola Gara from Italy. going to start off with the squat event. Bronze medalist with 350 from Ukraine is Anatoly Novoprismani. Anatoly, please step up. Squat silver with 367.5 goes to the USA and Anthony McNaughton. And with a new open world record of 382.5, a member of the BU Tech Squad Gold is Ilyas Bentala from Algeria. A fantastic new world record. Right, gentlemen, we're going to be moving on to the bench medals now. Thank you. With his second attempt at 227.5, collecting a bench press bronze is Regin Stogakis from Denmark. Matching his personal best at 232.5, Anatoly Novoprismani from Ukraine gets silver. And bench press gold with 245 goes to the USA and Anthony McNaughton. Thank you, gentlemen. Now it is time for the deadlift medals. Matching his personal best at 375 from Sweden, Emil Norling gets deadlift bronze. And we have a tie at the top. They were separated on body weight with 382, but maybe the heaviest of the two, Regin Stogakis from Denmark. And with his new personal best of 382, Natalia Messiah from Great Britain. Moving on to what we've been waiting for, the final placings in the weight class. With 935 kilos Congratulations, Anthony. You are the best in the world in 2026. Phenomenal class. That went down to the final deadlift for the podium. Hopefully we see these guys go at it next year in Brazil. And behind our